What's up, wrestling fans? I hope you leave it down below. Hit that like button and stick the thumb directly up my ass. And Chris Jericho's in heat again. That's right, sexually, he's in heat. No, he's in some heat. He's got some heat. He has heat. What is he, a cat? No, this is really weird, man. But, Jericho's always into something, whether it's a cruise in bikinis. It's always about his stuff, though, He's an entrepreneur. He's a guy who, he's got balls. He's an entrepreneur. He's not completely stupid, with the COVID stuff. A lot of people have handled it stupidly who are smart. I think he's handled it the smartest you could, I suppose. If people want to complain about Jericho having a concert in one of the most COVID non-existent places, I mean, they really should start getting angry at the Portland riots and the Antifa riots that are going on everywhere, because those people are out doing all kinds of crazy things. At least this guy's just trying to have a concert. But I don't know. I can see it. People are upset at Jericho, or some certain people are. Some people are upset. He had a concert, and he is just there's actually people so angry they're messaging me about it. I mean, multiple people, lots of people. This isn't like 2 people from the community have messaged me about this. I'm talking like my box is filled with, can you believe what's going on? And there's articles. I mean, I thought somebody died, or I thought something crazier happened than this. Jericho criticized for holding Fozzy concert during COVID-19 pandemic. Chris Jericho's band Fozzy slammed for ignoring social distancing at concert. And yet it's sort of like they're going on as if that COVID isn't happening. And the reason for it is what I said. I was saying this earlier. The only reason I can think of is why they're doing it is because they're looking at the crowds and they're saying, well, man, there's not that bad a COVID in this area. However, the counter argument is that, well, this is how it gets started. This is how it gets spread. This is how then you have a problem. This is how you go from, every state had multiple major events that led to the super spread of the virus. In Massachusetts, we had that convention. Everybody was at that convention from all over the world that had it. I mean, that could have been part of the biggest spread that ever happened with it. And, you go to a concert like this and you say 30 people get infected in the crowd here, and then they pass it on to 5 people, pass it on to 10. And then all of a sudden, Dakota's got a problem where it's spreading family through family. And there's a potential for, this may seem ridiculous. This is not based on numbers or facts, really. It's just a speculation that, there's a potential that you could go to this concert and, maybe even only 3 people catch it. But those 3 people give it to their families. There's a potential that anywhere from 2 to 20 people's at-risk family members die as a result of this concert. When you think about it, it's really not that crazy to say that. Even if one of the people in the crowd gets it and goes home and gets grandpa sick, they could die because of this concert. And I guess that's why I'm a little surprised that Jericho went on with it, but then I'm not, because Jericho's kind of got this attitude of like, listen, man, we took all the safest precautions we can. Let's live life. And you don't have to be there, But I think the problem is Grandpa, didn't know that you didn't have to be there. And next thing you know, Grandpa's dead. And then maybe Grandma's dead. And then the whole family. And it's all because Fozzy. So I think that's what people are mad about. But people are mad, dude. Like it's I don't know what to tell you. I'm not the one crying about this. I'm just telling you, people are mad. And I'm giving you all sides of this. I think that Jericho took the best precautions he could. He went to a place where, there really wasn't a lot of coronavirus. And they had an outdoor concert. I'm sure, hopefully, people had masks. I don't know. But while all these same people are angry at Chris Jericho, I've even seen on some people's feeds that they were supporting the riots in Portland. So even though they were criticizing a fun outdoor concert, they were supporting the BLM Antifa riots, where they marched to people's residential houses and threatened to burn their houses down. And the news says this is okay. So according to the news, it's okay to go out in mobs and assault people and threaten them and burn things down. But Chris Jericho having a concert is just going to break the internet today.
You really internalize capitalism if you're more worried about getting a good night quick so you can fucking work than Black Lives. You piece of shit. Get off you. Black Lives Matter. We're gonna burn your building down. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
We're going to burn your building down and we know where you live. We're going to burn your building down and we know where you live. This was okay. So according to the same people, this was okay, but what Jericho did was bad. I would argue that it's all bad.
Leave the area to the north now. Failure to comply may subject you to arrest and crowd control agents to include tear gas.
Good Lord. Thank God we don't live in Portland. I can't imagine that. But so, yeah, Jericho is getting a lot of flack, though. There's a lot of double standards out there everywhere. I sort of, myself, I wouldn't be doing a concert yet. If it was me, I wouldn't go to that concert. I wouldn't want to be there. I wouldn't be very happy because I would say that, we're starting to, things are going well. Why put a group of people together like that? But at the same time, I don't know all the facts and the precautions that Jericho took. So maybe there's some things that he did and knows about number-wise, obviously, that made him go, this isn't going to be much of a problem, and we'll be able to get away with doing it here in South Dakota, North Dakota, whatever it is. I don't know. But It's let me read what Jericho said, actually. Well, before we get to that, we got just people going after Jericho. They're always like these little looking kid people that don't even know what a legend Jericho really is, but you become the Judas in your mind. What a joke. I love Jericho, but this is such a bad look for him. It's a little bit of a weird look. I do admit a little bit. Here's a BLM person. It's hard to tell Antifa apart now because everybody just looks like Antifa now because they're all wearing masks. This guy's angry. Here's to hoping that Jericho doesn't bring the Rona back from Sturgis and infect the entire AEW locker room. People just upset at this whole thing. Again, let me go to Jericho's comments. So before we get to the Jericho comments, we'll end this with Jericho's comments in a second, and then we'll talk about Matt Hardy. We got Matt Hardy talking about Sammy Guevara, and I want to talk about that a little bit. But okay, well, this is Massachusetts. Massachusetts has gone down pretty well. We had a tiny little spike blip here where we started getting a little crazy. Now we're back to 400s and 300s, so hopefully we stay there and go down below. But let's go to South Dakota, North Dakota, where these took place. So they got 100 cases a day or less. It looks like their worst day was a spike of 100 or spike of 249. So it's well maintained, but this could spike them up a little bit, no doubt about it. Just the one concert, so that's just a fact, they're pretty low. I would say, to me, it would be nice if we got down to 10 cases a day or less. Then we could really start. But North Dakota's a bit higher. North Dakota's actually on the rise a bit, but they're still pretty low. They're kind of like Massachusetts, but. Massachusetts has a lot more people than North Dakota, and we're close to the North Dakota numbers. 300 a day or so for a state like Massachusetts versus North Dakota. I mean, we're doing really well in Mass right now. But again, it's because we had it first. It's like people don't understand. Like, we had it first, so it's gone down. Iowa is actually not doing good, as far as I'm concerned, percentage-wise. Iowa has the same amount of numbers that Massachusetts has, but they have higher numbers. So look at this. Iowa has higher numbers than Massachusetts right now. And Iowa has way less people in it than Massachusetts. So Iowa is atrocious. So I don't know why it'd be okay to tour in Iowa. I don't quite understand that one, but listen. Jericho did address this, and I think we have the clip. Jericho does a lot of live streams now on his channel. He's done a great job. He actually talks about in this clip that, you know, because I said the same thing. We said it was kind of like an old school thing where they did the debate with Orange Cassidy, and Jericho actually clarifies it here because we said the same thing. I was like, dude, it was like the old school thing, but not quite as funny when Will Ferrell's like, the empirical evidence shows that and it was just right out of that. But Jericho confirms that the reason why it wasn't so spot on like that, I think a lot of people wanted it to be that in a way, because when it started happening, they were thinking that. And Jericho confirms it was more like the Alice Cooper moment from Wayne's World.
But it worked out really good, and a lot of people said that the Orange answering the ocean question, which was kind of the germ of that idea. Tony Khan came up with the questions, and then Cody came up with the germ of the idea of the ocean question. And then I had the idea for Orange to answer it like in a really crazy, cool way, which everyone thinks was from old school. I didn't get it from old school. I got it from Wayne's World. If you guys remember when they
That's kind of funny.
The Milwaukee
makes sense,
and
though.
Alice Cooper.
All right, let's see what he has to say here. We can get Jericho on here.
Special.
By the way, you know, I'm not really sure how I feel about this. I really can't tell you. I'm on the fence about how I feel. But let's hear what Jericho, you know, has to say about it, man. He's I love Jericho, obviously, legend, and you know, is just somebody I've been watching wrestle since I was, man, about 9 or 10 years old in 1995. So he's somebody that I've known about and watched wrestle since 1995. It's kind of crazy. Very similar to how when I first started watching him, he was kind of very, very young. Similar to when the Hardy Boys came up, you know, to me when I was about 13 watching the Hardy Boys break in. And when I was 13, I used to be like, oh, these guys are going to be like the new Rockers or something, you know. But anyway, I don't know why I got off on that. Let's hear what Jericho says.
A couple minutes late. My computer decided longer and longer. So I actually even had it set up. Actually did 4 shows this week. And the reason for that is we had our tour, the Save the World tour, which was originally booked for...
There's going to be people making jokes about that, Save the World. They're going to be calling it like Infect the World or whatever. They're going to make fun of it. If there wasn't a pandemic going on, I would definitely go to a Fozzy concert, you know. I would definitely go to one. Come on! I would definitely go, man. I don't know. I'm pumped up. Now I'm fired up, man. I'm going to listen to some Fozzy and work out. I think that's what I'm going to do.
April and May. It got postponed to July and August, and then got postponed to October and November. But 4 shows remained in August, and I was like, how? Well, the shows are in South Dakota and North Dakota, and we had one in Fort Madison, Iowa, which is right near the border of South Dakota. And the reasons why the shows have happened, we did 2 already, we got our 3rd one tonight, is because those
states don't believe in science. That's why. No, let's see what he says.
Of North Dakota and South Dakota have very low COVID cases, less than 1,000 in both states. I think Florida had like 9,000 today alone. So so the venues are kind of either outside or they're half capacity. We're sold out tonight in Minot with I think 50% capacity. Last night we were sold out in Sioux Falls, South Dakota with I think it was 35% capacity. So we hand out masks at the door, temperature checks, all that sort of stuff. Basically
cool.
Just stay on the bus all day. Everyone in the Fozzy camp, crew and band has been tested. And so that's kind of how we're doing it. Everything's been going good. It's been so great.
And all you peasants go amongst each other, slobbering over each other in the front row. I think I'd be down for like a Fozzy concert if you only allowed like 50 people in and they all distance, like severely distance. Like there was little circles you had to stand in. Although that sounds so lame and terrible, you know, and what kind of world would we be? But at the same time, you got to do it, right? I mean, just it sounds so weird. Like I have 3 kids, man, and 2 of my kids are going back to school, and seeing the little plastic bubbles and the masks, dude, it breaks your heart, you know, and you want to fight back against it, but you know, but it makes sense, right? So it's one of those things. I don't know, dude. You guys tell me what you think. Do you think that this is no big deal? F it. Let's go, man. Capitalism, Fozzy, let's get it going. Or are you in the chat like he's a disgrace? He's not doing the right thing. He's not setting a good example. he's just caring about making money as Fozzy. You know, what are your opinions on this? Leave it in the comments down below. I would love to see it. And I actually am going to save the next topic for another video because I went so long on this. But my next video is going to be about Matt Hardy's situation with Sammy Guevara and the chair throwing incident and what we want to talk about with that. So we will see if we can get that rolling. And what I have some things to say about that, but I'm not going to get into it now because I'm going to save it for later. I hope you guys enjoyed Corrupted Podcast last night here, or rather on my Patreon. We had a lot of fun, and then at the very end, Jesse started flipping out and lost his mind. And Monetize this Friday if you missed it. Monetize this was a good episode last Friday. If you missed it, it's one to listen to. And here's some other videos popping up that you might have missed. I'm Joe Cronin, and I'll see you later on tonight, potentially.
When Raw, SmackDown, WWE, or AEW end, tune in to The Joe Cronin Show. Live on YouTube for review and reaction. Joe Cronin and Jake break down all the action. All of it. The Joe Cronin Show. Your source for wrestling opinions, news, and insanity. A wrestling podcast with attitude. Mature audiences only. Join our community of over 70,000 people. Subscribe free on YouTube to The Joe Cronin Show.
If you guys are still listening right now, some of the videos are popping up on your screen to continue listening to my channel. One of them is going to be my interview with Cody Rhodes from a little while back. I want you to go listen to the full thing. Some of the clips did really well. They got 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 views. But the full episode never really got crazy going. So if you missed my interview with Cody Rhodes a little while back, right around the second episode ever of AEW Dynamite, let's go. I think it'd be nice to go back and listen to that and see what stuff came true, what stuff they did do and didn't do, and that would be an interesting thing to hear where Cody Rhodes was back at AEW Boston versus now. All right, I'll see you later tonight, and I hope you guys think about becoming patrons on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show, and continue watching my channel, man. And don't forget, leave a comment below, man. I got to hear what you guys got to say.